Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Mike's Garage. I believe this is episode number 2, and for today's episode, we are going to talk about some of my favorite tools and how you can use them. So if you're getting ready to work on cars especially, these are my most recommended set of tools. So we'll start over here. Not necessarily in order, but definitely some of my favorites up at the top. The first is going to be my impact wrench. It's got 1,150 foot-pounds of torque. I haven't met a bolt that this sucker can't get off unless it was like literally welded on or something. I absolutely love it for pulling bolts off and putting them back on super fast. Got to have impact sockets. I like the deep kind because usually you've got a piece of bolt sticking through the nut, and so you need the deep kind, and they'll withstand the impact of the wrench. So that's my number one. Number two, and I would get this if you didn't have like a big air compressor set up, but number two would be the breaker bars. This is my 3/8. I also have a long 1/2 inch one, and nothing helps more when you're trying to break free a rusty bolt or even just a really stuck-on bolt than a breaker bar. I also like these deep socket sets. I've got metric and SAE, but most of my cars are all metric now. They're super handy. Let's see, over here, surprisingly, a set of paper towels. I love these blue shop towels. They're super absorbent. A favorite find, I only got into those about a year ago, and I've been working on cars since I was 10 years old. This is my torque wrench. Torque wrench. And I've got multiples of these in different sizes. This one will go up to, I think, 250 foot-pounds of torque, which is a ton. Usually axle bolts and things like that need that much torque. But I like them because I can set the torque down here and then just ratchet on like normal. And as soon as I hit the right torque value, it kind of clicks for me and I know I'm done. Piece of cake. Next up, we have these flexible ratchet wrench sets. So I went to buy a set of ratcheting wrenches just because sometimes you got to get into a tight location and it's super handy to have this, or you've got a long bolt and you can't get all the way on with one of the sockets and have room. These are super handy. And interestingly enough, just by luck, I happened to buy a set that had this flexible head. And I cannot tell you how amazing that actually is. I love having that just little bit of angle sometimes to be able to get into tight spots. So that's a must. I would definitely pick up a set of those. They're not too expensive, but super useful. This, probably like, what on earth is that? Looks like a little bolt. Well, it's got a knurled knob on the end here, so I can easily grip it. This is for my German cars. So I've got BMW and VWs. And they both like to put their wheels on using actual bolts and not lug nuts like most American cars and Japanese, Asian cars do. And so trying to just lay the wheel flat and figure out how to get a bolt in is a pain in the butt because there's nothing to hang on. But this basically is a wheel hanger. So you put it into one of the bolt holes, put your wheel on top of it, get the other bolts in, and then take this out and you're good to go. So it's just makes life easier. You quit dropping the wheel on your hand and bending your caliper, protection plate, etc. This guy, just a 1/4 inch socket wrench, but I love that in the back here I can put little like screwdriver bits and Torx bits and stuff. It is teeny tiny, but man, it's got like 92 teeth inside there, so it's super useful in tight spots. I use this thing all the time. It was about 12 bucks, probably one of my favorite recent purchases. Let's see, over here, this is my favorite shop light. If you watched my transmission video yesterday, I introduced it. Super handy. It's got 3 different settings, so super bright, half bright, and then flashlight at the end, which actually I think, yeah, there it is. I never use that, but I either use full, or if I'm going to be there for a long time, I'll use half. But my favorite feature is I can stick it onto a piece of metal like this and then angle it into where I want to get, and it'll just stay there. I absolutely love that feature. And it's rechargeable by USB power. Love this light. Next up, I'm a huge fan of DeWalt, probably my favorite power tools. And I just think they're well made, they're durable, they last a long time. I bought this impact wrench, I think last Christmas or the one before, and no, it would have been the one before. And I can't believe I haven't had one before now. This is a 1/4 inch one. I can put in these little mini socket adapters for like 3/8 and 1/4 inch sockets. And boy, does it make getting bolts on and off a piece of cake. I absolutely love this. So highly recommend this little lovely. And then finally, last but not least, we have a saying in my house, and it is this: when brute force doesn't work, use more brute force. And this is my little hefty 4-pound mini sledgehammer, and I use it all the time when I'm working on cars. And it is true, if I can't get something to move, I just beat the crap out of it, and then it does. I want to get a little plate right here that says the Persuader. So there's my set of tools. Probably my favorites is what I would say. Certainly there's lots more that you need. I'm a gadget guy, so if you have any questions about what other tools to buy or any questions about the ones I've got, let me know. Bye.